Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to work on a new project. We are going to try to make this plant healthy again. So I have been testing with this plant for the past few months and now I am done. So it is time to allow the plant to become healthy and grow and produce all over again. So as you can see, it is very unhealthy at the moment. Leaves are turning yellow and it is not looking good. So I harvested all of the fruits off now, and we're going to cut this plant back, and then we're going to mix a new soil mixture, and then we're going to condition the plant back to life again. So it is a pretty decent sized plant with lots of branches, and they're pretty sturdy. So what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the plant back and leave it to around the same height, sort of like a circular dome kind of shape. So let's go ahead and start cutting these. So we're going to cut a lot of it off. So let's see, see here, probably most of it. And then the plant, the shoot that are pointing all over the place, because once they grow, they will grow into each other. So you kind of want to clean that off. So just gonna keep cutting. Let me go ahead and get this finished up, and then I will show you what the plant looked like after it's all cut off. Okay, I trimmed most of all of the leaves off, and any of the bad branches that I see, I trimmed it all off, and this is what it looks like now. So we are going to remove the plant out of this container. This is kind of bad anyway. And then you see the top part of the roots, these are basically dead. So I'm gonna pull those out and get the root ball a little bit smaller, and put it into a new pot. And I'm gonna give it a new soil mixture. What I'm gonna use is for the bottom of the container, this here, I use these are peat moss and cow manure and compost, the black cow manure and compost, and just regular peat moss. And I think I use around 80% peat moss and then 20% of the cow manure and compost. And I'm gonna put it just to cover the bottom layer, just slightly, and then I'm gonna use the rest with these here, the Pro Mix. And the reason I'm using this is because the soil is very nice and soft and fluffy, and it has really good drainage, but also it has moisture retention. Also it has mycorrhiza in here, so that would help with the root development. So that is going to be my mix. And when you're trying to condition the plant back to life, the soil mix is very important. Something nice and loose and soft with some root boost, which is the mycorrhiza. And then that is it. So we are going to remove this right now. I'm gonna get it out of here, and then we're going to reduce the root ball. Okay, I was able to remove the plant, and this is what was in the original pot. I had it in a smaller pot, and then I moved it out into a bigger pot, and you see the root ball is still like in its original shape. And then I put it into this soil, and I was testing these the soil, and these are not really good type of soil. And as you can see, there kind of like has a lot of wood pieces, and these are great as a mixture to other type of soil, but using it by itself is not good, because these the type of soil right here, it's full of chips that has not been fully broken down, and when you water, the water goes right through, and so it seems like you have a lot of water in there, but basically most of it escaped. And what it leaves is that your plant is going to be super dry. You see here, because it's just like it's almost like pouring water through a strainer. It just goes right through, and then some of it will get wet, but a lot of it will escape, and then the roots get all dry, and then it kind of struggle. So this type of soil is great, but you have to mix it with something that can retain the water, especially when you live in climate that is really, really hot. And so you see how it's really dry. So anyway, I'm gonna use the new soil. That Pro Mix right there is great, and it's also very soft. So I'm gonna reduce this real quick, so I'll show you in a second. All right, what we're going to do is, you see how dry it is up here, and basically the root area up here is kind of like dead almost. So I'm gonna kind of like loosen this up and kind of pull out some of the roots from the top. You can leave the bottom here, that's fine. And you see there's nothing but roots in here, because there's not much soil left in there. So I'm just gonna pull this out so the plant can try to get some new roots. Okay, and let me tear these part out. Just trying to reduce it a little bit. Okay, now it's time to put it into a new container. And here is our plant. Okay, we want to put it standing up, of course, and then I'm gonna pour the Pro Mix all over it. Okay, the soil is all filled in, and I ran out of the soil, so I kind of like used some of the old one to put on top just to fill up the container, but I put it around the perimeter but not in the middle. That way when you water, it goes through and it soaks into the bottom area. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in an area where it's not get full sun all day long. It needs a little bit shade. Okay, I'm going to put this against this wall right here. So you see how it's kind of shaded right now, so it will get some more shade once it gets further in the afternoon. And we're going to water. So it's always good to move the pot wherever you want it to go before you water, because if you water, it's gonna be 3 times as heavy. So give it a thorough water, make sure everything is nice and moist, and then that should be it. And then you don't have to water for a few days. And so because the plants don't have any leaves left, or just a few, it's not going to drink the water too much, but the sun will evaporate a lot of the water. So you just have to make sure that you water when the soil is dry, but you don't want it to be wet all the time because the root will rot. Okay, so let me water, and that's it. So we will come back and check on this in a few weeks. All right guys, it has been exactly 5 days now, and we have progressed. So let me show you. You see there are new growth right there. See those little buds? So that's with just 5 days, with the right soil mixture and a little bit of care. You see there's buds popping up all over the place. So you see there's a bunch of little shoots, and right now it looks very bare, but in very little time those little buds will turn into branches, and this one is going to be a really full plant once again. So we will be back soon, and I will show you what it looks like. Okay, here it is 12 days later, and the plant is doing great. Look at all these new shoots here. You see that? So with the right moisture in the soil, the right soil mix, and the nice environment where it's sitting right now, where it's not beat down by the sun or the concrete heating up the bottom, it is looking beautiful. So in very little time, this plant is going to grow much fuller, maybe into something like that. Okay, so that is what it looks like currently. I will come back in a few weeks and show you how beautiful this plant will become. Okay, welcome back. It has been 16 days now, and the plant is making amazing progress. Look how beautiful it is right now. So it is recovering nicely, growing really well, lots of new leaves, nice and green. And in a few more weeks, the plant should start to produce blooms, because this is a very mature pepper plant. So this is pretty much it, guys. There's not much more I can show you, except that it's going to keep growing and growing every few weeks, and then it will start to bloom and produce peppers again. So if you have a struggling plant, or plants that are not looking great, try to change out the soil, give it a good environment where it is not too extreme, like too much heat or whatever, and it will start to recover. The most important thing is the soil, because if you take care of the roots, most of your problem will go away, because the root is basically what will give life to the plant. So if you take care of it and treat it nicely with good soil, like fertilizer when it needs to be balanced, and the plant will just come back to life like you never seen. So that is it, guys. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave it below, and thank you so much for watching.